Hello and welcome to the Woolen Homestead. This is a video podcast all about knitting, spinning, and hand dyeing yarn in Midland, Michigan. My name is Tiffany. You can find me on Ravelry as Woolen Homestead, on Instagram, Facebook, and Etsy as The Woolen Homestead, and we have a Ravelry group called The Woolen Homestead. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's so good to see you guys again. If you're a new viewer, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back. I have a couple things to show you, but first I want to start out with, last episode I did talk about a 700 subscriber giveaway, so I wanted to say thank you again for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. It means so much to me. And so I'm giving away a skein of my hand-dyed yarn. I just drew for the winner. And it was number 18, which is Sid Sushi, and that's Sydney. So thank you so much to everybody who entered. Sydney, if you could please message me on Ravelry and let me know your information and which colorway that you would like. I know on the thread you said you love the Nymphadora Tonks colorway, and I'd be happy to get you that one, but if you'd like a different one, feel free to let me know. So alright, thank you everyone again for subscribing, and like I said, I really appreciate it. So moving right along, I thought I'd talk about the knit-alongs that are going in the group. We've got the Find Your Fade Cal, which is the shawl by Andrea Mowry. It started on March 1st and it's going until April 30th. Whips were allowed if they were less than 50% done starting on March 1st. So feel free to still enter if you'd like. And the prize for that, I got a couple prizes. I have a copy of the Bamboo Jungle Socks by Lisa Griffiths, and that was donated to us. And then I have this felted needle pouch that came from Cappy of the Yarn and I Cappy podcast. So those are the prizes for that, and like I said, you got until April 30th, so I think that's still 2 weeks. And if you are joining along in that knit along, use the hashtag TWH Find Your Fade Cal. The other knit along we have going on is the year-long Basket of Mittens knit along. That is co-hosted by my friend Carrie, who is My Wool Mitten on Instagram, and she is Granny Sheep on Ravelry. And that is a year-long knit along where we're knitting mittens, and the only requirement is one pair of mittens to be entered, and basically there's an FO thread, so you can just post your mittens there to be qualified for prizes. So yeah, those are the two knit-alongs going on, and like I said, the Ravelry group is the Woolen Homestead, so please feel free to join in, and that way you can be eligible for giveaways and for knit-along prizes. Next I wanted to show I have a finished object again this week. Very happy. I just finished them actually. It's a little bit later in the afternoon than I usually record because I was on the toe on these socks. So these are my Vanilla is the New Black socks by Anna Fletcher, and I used Spun Right Round in the candy colorway. This was my very first indie dyed yarn I ever bought. So this is very nostalgic to knit with, and I'm really happy. I tried them on and they fit great, so I'm very happy about that. Sorry, Mom. Mom gets all my socks that where they're a little too big. She gets to keep them, so she was really hoping these wouldn't fit so she could have them. But I will be getting her some more socks. So yeah, very happy. I did a 2x2 rib, and then I did the heel that comes in the pattern, which I love. It fits just fine. I wasn't sure about the fit, but the second sock fits fantastic. So I think I maybe had messed up the one on the first sock just a little bit, but I'm very happy with these. And these would qualify for my box of socks, which I don't know, you know, I'm going to kind of see how the rest of the year goes. I don't know if I will be, you know, able to enter that knit along fully, because I don't know if I'll be able to knit 12 pairs of socks for myself, or if that's what I want to do, because this would be my first pair for the year. I know it's still totally doable, but I'm not going to put the pressure on myself, but I will put them in the box. This is my box. And I put my other pair of socks that I finished last time, the handspun socks, are in there. So I'm just filling up socks that I have finished this year. I'm putting in there just for myself. So just because I think that's kind of fun. So yeah, that is my finished object. Some of my works in progress, I didn't break out all of them, but just the ones that I've kind of been primarily working on. I will talk about this a little bit more later, but I kind of had to take a little bit of a break from knitting. If you follow my Instagram, you may have seen I was having some wrist pain, so I didn't get a ton of knitting done in the last 2 weeks, but I got a fair amount for the amount of time I did have. So, but I'll talk more about wrist pain and things like that later. So I haven't shown my Madewell in a while. So I know the last time I showed it, I was right here on this sleeve. So I finished the cuff and I picked up for the other sleeve. So I'm very, very excited about this. It's coming along. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to have this done. Not that I'll be able to wear it anytime soon as we're coming into summer, but I'm just really excited to have a knitted cardigan in my wardrobe. The yarn that I used it was some Knit Pick Stroll that I dyed last summer. And it's just these 2 blues, and I just alternate skeins. I came out with 2 light blues and 2 dark blues, so that's how I've just been alternating those. And these are the last 2 skeins. But yeah, it's been working really well. I didn't end up with any like stark lines when I picked up for the sleeves, because I had been alternating, so that's nice. And yeah, it's just working out really seamlessly. So, excuse the dog barking if you can hear that. But yeah, so very happy with that. I did pick up some needles for this because I got a 60-inch cord, because when I pick up for the button band, Caitlin of Mint Ring and Hand Dyed Yarns, her and I were hanging out, and she had tipped me off that when picking up for a button band, it's best to have a 60-inch cable, which I didn't even think about. So thank you, Caitlin, for letting me know about that. So I picked up that at the local yarn shop over in Bay City. And then I also wasn't thinking, and when I do pick up for the button band, I need the smaller set of needles for the ribbing. And I did not have those in an interchangeable, so I had to quick Amazon it, and I got they are 2.5 3mm interchangeable tips. The set that I have starts with 2, and then it goes to 3, so I didn't have the 2.5. So I'm really glad I got these, because now that kind of completes my set on the lower end for interchangeables. So yeah, really, really happy with that, and really excited to get to the button band on that. Okay, for my next work in progress, I've got my Vintage Prim hat by Andrea Mowry, which I don't think I've shown this in a while either. If you watched, I just posted a vlog last night for it was about 2 weekends, a weekend ago, I think. It wasn't last weekend, but the weekend before, where my husband and I were down in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I was working on the brim of this hat and just kind of enjoying the brioche, and I got to some of the increases. Or maybe they're decreases. Oh, I think they're decreases. Now I don't remember. I think they are decreases. Maybe it's a little bit of both. I'm not sure, but it's hard. You can kind of see. I guess that would be a decrease, but yeah. So, you know, you really can't see the pattern yet, but I did get the brim, a good portion of the brim done, which I was very happy about. And here's up close of what the fabric looks like. The other side. I'm just really enjoying this. I really like having a brioche project on the needles. It's really fun. It's definitely something that I have to be concentrating on. Specifically those increases and decreases. I have to have like the YouTube tutorials right next to me while I'm working on them and to really not be distracted. That's why I've only done like one row of it, but it's really satisfying seeing the shape take. So for those of you who don't know what the pattern looks like, I've got a picture. That's what it looks like. So neat. So, and then I mentioned this before, but I am doing 2 needle sizes down because I was told that with brioche and superwash, it tends to just really, really stretch, and so I didn't want a really loose baggy hat. So I'm giving it a go, seeing how it works. And like I said, I'll let you guys know how that fits and how it wears. And that is in my project bag. By Tracy of Specialty Sewing. This is one of my favorite bags. I love this. And she's on Etsy. And, oh, the yarn. I forgot to tell you what yarns those were. So, the speckled blue, or sparkly blue, is Countess Ablaze. And this is the Big Fish in a Little Pond colorway. And then I've got... this is one of my colorways. This is the Baby It's Cold Outside colorway. And this is basically just like a white with a bunch of blue speckling on it. It's obviously more of a winter, Christmas time colorway, hence the name, but I will dye this year round. So if anybody would like a skein of that, just let me know. And that's on my soft sock base, which that base is being discontinued. There's a couple skeins of it left in the shop on different colorways, but that base will no longer, I won't be carrying that one anymore. So next is my Find Your Fave shawl by Andrea Mowry. And this is a shawl that I've really, really been enjoying knitting. I just didn't work a ton on this. Like I said, I had the break with my wrist where I didn't knit much. So I really didn't get much done on this, but I do love it. I do love working on this. So that's where I was last time, and I'm on the Knox Yarn colorway, or Knox Yarn company in the Ravelry colorway. It's sparkly and I love it. And sorry that I'm in the middle of a row, but I just started the lace on the 3rd color. So I've got the, this is the Baby It's Cold Outside again, so you could kind of see how it knits up a little bit better than in the brioche. And then this is also a colorway of mine called Blueberry Crumb Cake. And then, like I said, this is Knox Yarn Company in the Ravelry colorway. So, and these are highest sharps, and I'm not sure, size is 4 US. It's whatever the pattern called for. So size 4. And this is in my bag I got from Knit Picks. That says Weekend Plans, Knitting with a Chance of Movie Marathons. I love this bag. It's a really nice, like messenger bag style, or just over the shoulder bag, I guess. Not really messenger bag, but it's a really, really nice bag. So, very happy with that. The other thing I've been working on is my granny stripe blanket. Love this. So if you watched my vlog, I mentioned that I was doing this project for my hashtag 100-day project, and this is really funny. I did run into the problem with my wrist where I kind of stopped for a couple days, but which the premise of the 100-day project is that you do something for 100 days. So I had mentioned that Danny of Little Bobbins was doing 1 stripe on her crochet blanket a day, and so I thought that was really cool. So I was like, oh, I'm totally gonna join you in that. And I did it. I was really good about it. Then my wrist was hurting, took a break, but then I'm totally like getting to the end of my cake because I've been enjoying this so much. So that's kind of put me behind. But I'll show you what I've got. And I've got a new magic cake in the works. But I need to put more squares on my Cozy Memories blanket because I put a square in my Cozy Memories blanket and then it goes in here. So I thought that was kind of funny. But this is definitely still getting a lot of love. I just love this thing. It's one of my favorite projects to work on. That's where I was last time I showed you guys. And then this marker is where I started on the 100-day project. So yeah. Oh, I love this. So lovely. So cozy. The hook size that I'm using is C, 2.75 millimeters, and it's a clover with the little grippy on it, and I love it. Very nice hook. And the bag is by Daisy Girl and Company on Etsy. And these are just amazing, amazing project bags. So well made. Love them. So there's her tag. So yes, great bags. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, I mentioned the wrist thing, and I wanted to mention a podcast I was listening to. It was an audio podcast about wrist strain, and I think she did a really great job of covering it, and she linked a bunch of articles about it, and so I just wanted to kind of pass it on to you guys. It's the Actually Knitting podcast, which is hosted by Michelle. You can find it on iTunes. I believe she has a blog for it, and I use Stitcher radio through, I listen to podcasts like when I'm at work, and I don't take my actual cell phone into work. I just use my old cell phone and just listen to it like on Wi-Fi. So I have my old Android that I use Stitcher radio to listen to podcasts. And so, but basically she was saying that, like when you start, it's like a repetitive stress injury. So when you start to feel the pain, that's your cue that you need to stop or take a break. She suggested from the articles that she found setting a timer for 30 minutes and then taking a break for 10 minutes and, you know, stretch your wrists and just go do something else. And so I had been, for a while now, I had been working through the pain and just not paying attention to it, and that was not recommended. Definitely not recommend. I do not recommend that. And it kind of caught up with me. So, but this was also really, really interesting is when I took a break. So I'd listened to that podcast, and it was kind of like what I needed to hear to kind of slow down and pay attention. And so when that started to happen, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break from knitting for a couple of days and see how it feels. And it definitely felt a lot better. But while I was at work, you know, my wrist was a little kind of achy, but it wasn't like hurting per se. And while I was at work, we have these, they're called thinning shears, and we'll use them on like a golden retriever foot. You know, golden retrievers grow like little fuzz between their toes, and so we'll kind of brush that up, and we'll use these thinning shears to kind of like blend the fur down. And I was grooming a golden retriever, and I went to use the thinning shears, and my hand started, or my wrist and whole arm started to hurt, and I was like, oh. So I kind of stopped for a minute. I looked at my wrist, and I had been holding the scissor like this, like really weird. I was like, why am I doing that? Because like when I went to grooming school, they always told us to have like a very neutral wrist when we're using scissors, and I didn't realize that I had been doing that. And so I found out that in certain situations I had been using my scissors kind of contorting my wrist like this, like just in weird ways that wasn't right. And so so since then I have been really, really like learning how to like contort my body different ways and like moving my arm different ways so that I can still scissor the dog's foot or the leg or whatever I'm working on, and not bend my wrist like that. So it's kind of been a learning process at work to relearn how to scissor. So I realized that I had been going to work 40 hours a week, hurting my wrist that way, and coming home and knitting all night, and my wrist would hurt and I would keep going. So I found that very interesting because I don't think it was all just the grooming. You know, I think it had a lot to do with the amount of knitting that I was doing. And maybe I was holding on to the knitting needles too tight or things like that. But that was just a really eye-opening experience. But taking those breaks and things has really, really made a difference in my knitting. Now I just do it in little spurts and things like that. So at first, when I decided that I was going to take a couple days off of knitting, it was like, what am I going to do? Like it was really hard to think about. And so I was like, I'm going to try spinning because I don't think I'll be using my right hand wrist for that because I draft out with my left hand. And so I sat down and I did some spinning, and it didn't hurt my wrist at all because I'm just holding the fiber in my right hand. I'm not doing anything. I'm not clenching onto it. I'm not moving my wrist. And so I got a lot of spinning done. So that was kind of cool. Still not as much as I would have wanted, but I ended up finishing up that bobbin of the Three Waters Farm that I had been using. So I can show you a lot better than before. But this is the first half. So I'm doing a fractal 2-ply, which I kind of explained before, which you take the first half of your fiber and you spin across the folds. So you have these really long like stripe sequences. And then for the second half of your fiber, you split the fiber lengthwise and then maybe 4 times. And so you have these really short striping sequences. And so the way it's supposed to match up is, it doesn't always match up. It matches up in certain spots, and it's supposed to be really, really pretty. So I'm really, really excited about that. You can kind of see my spinning wheel back there, and that's the start of the second bobbin. So yeah, I'm trying to incorporate more spinning now into my crafting, which is great because I love spinning, but I had kind of been primarily working on the knitting, and my spinning had been falling to the wayside. So that was really, really nice to be able to have spinning back, primarily in my life. So I think it was definitely a blessing in disguise. Oh, and I forgot to mention the fiber is, I said it was Three Waters Farm, but it's 80% merino and 20% tussle silk. Okay. The next thing I'm going to talk about is some acquisitions. I have been having fun on Etsy here and there, and I want to show you guys some of the things that I bought. So I have been looking at Peach Queen Yarns, and her username on Instagram is Patchwork Peach, and it's Jessica. And you may have seen her before. She does a lot of Disney colorways, and she's got a lot of self-striping, but she also does some speckled yarns as well. And I had noticed this one before, and this is Mrs. Potts, and I love this. I love this. It's in 80/20 superwash merino nylon, 400 yards, 100 grams. It's her Manny sock base, and this just makes me smile. If you guys saw my last episode, you know that I loved Beauty and the Beast, and so I got this soon after we watched that movie. It just made me so happy, so I grabbed that. But I didn't want that skein to be lonely, so I had been eyeing this other skein forever. Well, since she came out with it, I guess. And it is oh, I love this. So first of all, look at the beautiful color. It's got these purples and oranges and peaches, and it's just stunning. And this is called My Little Nutmeg. And for those of you who don't know, this is a quote from Hercules, which is one of my favorite Disney movies. I can quote that movie up and down. I love the music. It's a great Disney movie. It's one of my favorites. So when this came out, I was like, I need that in my life. And so I knew that I wanted to make some purchases from her. So this was actually the first one that went into my cart, and then after seeing Beauty and the Beast, I had to get these two, but they also kind of go together, which was kind of cool. Not planned, but super cool. And so yeah, I'm thinking I'll have to go into a shawl together with maybe like a third color, like a gray or something. I think those would be really pretty. So the other thing I got was some Mint Rain hand-dyed yarns, which is Caitlin. And for those of you who may have heard before, I've mentioned that Caitlin and I live in the same town, and so we get together from time to time and go have coffee, and we decided to do a little swap. So I gave her a skein of my Happy Little Narwhal colorway, and then she gave me a skein of her Make Me Smile self-striping colorway. Oh, I love this. I saw this on Grocery Girls, and I knew that I had to get a skein of this, so we decided to do a little trade, and I want to cast these on so bad. So I'm hoping summer will be my sock knitting time. It's either going to be that or it's going to be sweaters, I think. But it'll be nice to have a bunch of socks going. You know, just a lightweight, you know, project to take when it's super hot out. So my other purchase, which took the longest, but it was so worth it. It was so worth it. And it was just the mail. It had nothing to do with the Etsy shop, because I got a notification when it was actually super fast shipping. I bought the object, and I got a notification like the next day saying it was shipped out. So I was very impressed. But it is this mug, this gorgeous mug. I love this. This is Julia Smith Ceramics, and she's from Scotland, and this just makes my heart sing. I love the pine trees on there. It's just so beautiful, so well made, and oh, I love it. I just got it the other day. But, oh, it's beautiful. I was on Instagram, and Danny of Little Bobbins had posted that she got her mug, and she had got one that had a cute little tree house on it, and totally enabled me. I saw that. I was like, oh, I really want one of those. So I chalked it up as an early birthday present, because you gotta be able to justify these things. But it works. So those are the new things that I got. I have some other things coming in the mail. I mentioned on my little vlog that I snagged my first skein of Woolen Vine yarns. So that should be here very soon. I think it said it should be here Friday. And really looking forward to that. And then I've also got some Woolen Vine through D-Stash. So very excited. I don't know when that will be coming, but it'll be kind of a fun surprise in the mail when it gets here. So yeah, those are my acquisitions. As far as that, I've got a little bit of Etsy shop news. I don't have anything currently dyed up. I had to wait for my yarn to come in, and it actually came on the last day off I had before Easter. It was funny. It came like I could have dyed yarn that day if it came like first thing in the morning, but it came like at dinner time, so I was like, I'm not gonna do that tonight. So I just thought that was really funny. But then I worked right up until Easter, and then obviously I wasn't gonna dye yarn on Easter because I was we went over to my mom's place, which is in Greenville, Michigan, and which is a beautiful house. She just moved there. When was that? December. That was right before Christmas, and it is beautiful. Her house was built in 1908, and it's stunning. I'm gonna go there. We keep talking that soon I'm gonna come over and do like a crafting day, and I'll definitely take some video because it's gorgeous. But she had to do a lot of like kind of renovating on it because it wasn't in the best shape when she got it, but it's so pretty. Back to the Etsy shop. I have two skeins in the shop right now. It's blueberry crumb cake and mulberry jam. If anybody is interested in those are there, and that's on my soft sock base, which I said that's going to be discontinued. But other than that, I'm going to be dyeing yarn tomorrow on my sturdy sock base, which is the new one. And I'm planning to do more of the Happy Little Narwhal and Life is the Bubbles, because those have gone over very well. So thank you guys. Thank you to anybody who has ever bought from me or has done a custom order or anything like that. I really appreciate it. And it just means a lot to me that you guys want to purchase from me. But I wanted to ask you guys, what would you like to see, you know, coming up? If you don't watch this you know, by Tuesday when I will be dyeing. Let me know what you would like to see in future shop updates, any particular colorways that you're looking for or that you've been wanting to see, or maybe certain color schemes that you want to see, or maybe you know, inspired by certain things. So I'm kind of looking for some feedback on what you guys would like to see. So just let me know. You can leave me a comment here on YouTube, or you can do it in the Ravelry thread. But yeah, so that's what's going on over here. Like I said, we went to my mom's for Easter. Got to see all my nieces and my nephew, and then I have one other nephew that lives in Wisconsin, so I didn't get to see him. But I got to see the others, and they're just so cute. They're so fun to spoil. And we did an Easter egg hunt, and it was a really nice day. And yeah, I hope you guys are all well, and I hope you guys are knitting your hearts out and loving what you're working on. So I will talk to you guys later, and have a great week. Bye-bye.